Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to the shop and another tutorial from me, Keith, your friendly host here at Arlen Studio. Once again, as always, guys, thanks so much for your support and just liking my items. I just love making this stuff, and now that I'm older and don't have as much to do with kids growing up and stuff, I've gotten back into doing this. So here's what we get. Let's get right into it because I don't like it when people are too chatty on my tutorials. I want them to get right to the trick and quit with the silliness. So here's what you get. You get a little cool red velvet bag because we've spared no expense. And you get this little prop. And when I was a kid, the big thing was, well, teenager, I guess, was Indiana Jones. And I've loved the Indiana Jones movies forever because they're just awesome. You don't have to think too much when you go see them. And they got all kinds of cool Egyptian-y artifacts and stuff. So that's kind of where this little puppy came from. What you're getting here is these are made out of wood, and then I do a stipple coat, I guess you'd say, over them in gold, and then we do an antiquing and put the little jewelies on and so forth. And then you have your tablets that should just come out like that. I try and keep it easy to get to. That's why they're hanging out just a little bit. And you get the two colored tablets, which is your the plume. You have an ankh, and then you have a scarab. I did this in such a way that, well, let's put it this way. It's just a three-way out. It's very simple. The props are really the cool thing about this. The idea here is you have three possible choices for your spectator to make, and they make their choice, and then there are three outcomes when you go to reveal that Isis knew what they were going to pick the whole time. So here's what you get. If they pick the scarab, you know, they get the little, okay, very cool. And you can do that little turny thing. And then you just let the little block fall out, as you will see in the tutorial. And it's got the scarab. Ta-da. My experience has been that people are familiar with the scarab and they're more familiar with the ankh. And so every time, those are going to be your two main choices. A lot of the time, I would say a good 50% of the time, they're going to go with the scarab for some reason, because that's what. And so that's why I gave it the really cool little reveal on the block. And the block just goes up inside here. You just pull your little string, and there you go. Okay, now we just flash the second reveal. So if they were to have picked the plume, okay, nothing on the back of that, you would just turn this over, and there it is, Isis. Knew you'd pick the plume, or choose the plume. There you go. And these are on kind of a papyrusy paper that I've treated with a top coat of acrylic, so they should be good and not get too banged up over time. Ta-da. Also, too, if you guys have any issues with any of these things, you obviously know how to get a hold of me. Send it back to me, and I'll either replace it, fix it, or whatever needs to be done. We want happy customers. So, okay, so there's your second reveal. Let's say they go with the ankh, which a lot of times they will because they're familiar with the ankh. Well, basically, when they do, you've got these all set up just like so. All you've got to do in that case is turn these two items over and reveal on the back that that was the only choice that they could have made. So it's pretty slick. The things that I do is I generally, when I lay everything out like so, it comes out of the little tommy thing here, yada, yada, yada. I'll bring the tomb and just set it back by me, because you don't want people picking the tune up, because if they don't, especially if they don't choose the Aachen, then you don't want them to reveal the underside of it as well. So this is back here. Good audience management is, I guess, what you call that. And you've got your deals here. Again, they're going to choose the plume. You're going to say you chose the plume, and you will turn your tomb over like so. And there it is. If they choose the Ankh, you're just going to turn these two over first to show that there is nothing on the back of those. However, right here is your prediction. Ta-da! And then, if and when they choose the Scarab, you've got your little out, oop, right there. And there is your Scarab. And it's all on the back. Pretty simple, straightforward stuff. I like magic that's simple. I don't like complicated stuff. I like to be able to concentrate on the storyline or the performance or whatever I'm doing. So that's why I make the things that I make the way that I make them. It's, I love, all of the big, cool, new, fancy gizmo gadgets and the electronics and all that neat stuff. I want my stuff to have the look and the feel of something that maybe you would have got back in the old days. Even something maybe that came out of Houdini's garage sale, so to speak. Or the other thing I try to do too when I make things is I like to create things using only the technology that they would have had back in the 1800s when it was a big deal to, I mean, not that it's not anymore, but was a big thing because they didn't have motion pictures or radio and all that kind of stuff really. So they would go to the theater and they would see opera or they would see whatever. But then magic, oh my gosh, Houdin and Houdini and Alexander and all those guys, they just do these huge shows. And so anyways, I just like the idea of stuff being a little less technologically advanced, I guess. Anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. And again, thanks for your support. I hope this helps you out. And again, on my certificates of authenticity, you got my digits, everything there. If you need to reach out to me for anything, just feel free to do so. It's always best to text me instead of calling me, because I probably won't answer if I don't know who is calling me. But so shoot me a text first, tell me what's going on, and then we'll chitty chat. I wish you a pleasant day and stay magical.